go ahead and call the meeting to order. Good morning. Welcome to the board meeting, Osteopathic Medical Board of California, and this meeting is being held on August 17th, 2023, and the time is 9:10 or 9:11 on my watch. This meeting is occurring at the Western University of Health Sciences Lecture Hall located at 701 East 2nd Street in Pomona, California, 91766. Today's meeting is conducted using the following guidelines. All participants mute their microphone during each presentation and agenda topic. Board members who wish to provide additional comments should select the raise hand feature. This is if you're doing a virtual. We don't have any virtual board members. This will alert the host and chair that you have additional comments. At the conclusion of the discussion from board members, we ask for public comment. At the conclusion of the discussion period, I will call for a vote, if necessary, or I will move to the next agenda item.
Dr. Buhari,
yes.
I'm sorry, they're saying they cannot hear you on...
Oh, do we have to pass me one of those?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Well,
No worries, you're good.
shall I start over? I don't mind. Can everybody hear me now?
This meeting is being recorded. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, good. Then I will use the microphone and we'll just have to pass, correct? Okay. Go fast. Good morning. Welcome to the board meeting of the Osteopathic Medical Board of California. This meeting is being held once again on August 17th, 2023, and the time is 9:12. This meeting is occurring at the Western University of Health Sciences Lecture Hall located at 701 East 2nd Street in Pomona, California, 91766. The guidelines for today's meeting: all participants mute the microphone or phone during each presentation of the agenda topic. Board members who wish to provide additional comments should select the raise hand feature next to their name. We don't have any board members coming virtually. At the conclusion of the discussion from board members, we will ask for public comment. At the conclusion of the discussion period, I will call for a vote if necessary or move to the next agenda item. All in attendance should keep their comments specific to the agenda item being discussed. An opportunity for public comment for items not on the agenda will be provided. Please be advised that during this comment period, the board cannot engage in discussions or take action on any matter that is raised except to decide whether to place the matter on the agenda of a future meeting. And we will move to establishment of a quorum and the roll call. Machiko?
Corey,
Present.
Dr. Buhari,
Present.
Michael Kim, Angela Rio,
Present.
Dr. Jensen, Dr. Patel,
Present. That's good.
Dr. Lucia,
Present.
Denise Pines. You have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the reading of the board's mission statement. Agenda item number 3, reading of the board's mission statement. Executive Director Erica Calderon.
The mission of the board is to protect the public by requiring competency, accountability, and integrity in the safe practice of medicine by osteopathic physicians and surgeons.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4 is the meeting and public comment procedure. Public comment on items not on the agenda. During the meeting today, public comment is welcome on any agenda item as the item is taken up by the board. Under the Open Meetings Act, the board may not take any action on issues raised by public comment that are not on the agenda, other than to decide whether to schedule the issue for a future meeting. In order to allow the board sufficient time to conduct its scheduled business, the board will limit the time given to each person to 2 minutes. It's not necessary to repeat statements or views of a previous speaker. It's sufficient to state that you agree. As a reminder, please do not disclose details of an active enforcement case or licensing matter, as this may compromise the board's ability to hear the case at a later date. The board appreciates your cooperation and assistance in meeting its legal mandate. At this time, are there any public comments on items not on the agenda? Moderator, is there anyone requesting to public comment?
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened up the Q&A feature for public comment. Members of the public, if you would like to make a comment for items not on the agenda, please click the Q&A icon located at the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen or use the raise hand function. All right, and seeing none, would you like me to close that Q&A panel?
Yes, please.
Dr. Barry, can we ask for
Yes.
public comments from the audience
Yes,
first?
any public comment from members who are physically present? Seeing none, thank you for your comments. We'll move on to agenda item number 5, which is review and possible approval of the minutes. This is a review of the minutes from the May 2023 board meeting. Any discussion by members of the board on the minutes? Okay, in that case, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Moderator, is there anyone requesting a public comment on the minutes of the May meeting?
This is the moderator at the direction of the board. I have opened up the Q&A feature for public comment. Members of the public, if you would like to make a comment on this item, please click the Q&A icon located at the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen or use the raise hand function. I'll pause a moment to allow the public time to access those features and submit their requests. All right, and seeing none, would you like me to close that Q&A feature?
Yes, please. Are there any public comments from members in the audience? All right. So Machiko, we'll do a roll call vote.
Coordinator,
Present.
Dr. Barry,
Yes.
Dr. Ishak,
Present.
Andrea,
Yes.
Dr. Patel,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, the motion is carried, the minutes are approved. We're still waiting for our quorum for your part of it. So I'm gonna move on to the president's report. So we're gonna push agenda item number 6 until Ms. Pines can be here. And that's the president's report. So before we move on with the petition hearing, we're gonna go a little out of order. Dr. Michael Lushak, I wanted to introduce as a new member of the board, who I'm told is an alumni from 1990 of this college, and I'm an alumni from 03, so we go way back and don't recognize any of it so far. He's practiced with the Permanente Medical Group in Roseville and Sacramento until October of last year, and now he's assistant program director and site coordinator for UC Davis Emergency Residency and Kaiser ER departments in Roseville, Sacramento, and staff education coordinator for his group of over 140 physicians. And at any point in time, if you want me to stop, I can. But because he's got a huge bio, it's wonderful. Dr. Lushak maintains American Board of Medical Specialties certifications in emergency medicine, family practice. Since retiring from Permanente, he's continued as a volunteer physician on the California Care Force, which is a nonprofit organization promoting health and well-being of those in need through volunteer support and no-cost healthcare clinics throughout California. He's maintained an appointment as a clinical faculty at the UC Davis School of Medicine and is a preceptor for student-run clinics at the university. Prior to joining Permanente, he was a medical officer in the United States Army, and during his career there served as chair of the Department of Emergency Medicine at Darnall Army Medical Center in Texas. He has served in Mosul, Iraq as Chief Emergency Medicine and Triage for the 21st Combat Support Hospital. He was core faculty for residency programs in family medicine at DeWitt Army Community Hospital in Virginia and emergency medicine at Darnall Army Medical Center. In the past, he served as a trustee for the California Medical Association and as a director for the Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons of California. His other volunteer activities have included appointment as an oral examiner for the American Board of Emergency Medicine, as vice president for the Placer Veterans Stand Down, and as a director for the California Care Force. Currently, he's director emeritus for the Placer Nevada County Medical Society and a delegate for the California Medical Association. And when notified of this appointment, he was very happy and appreciative of the opportunity and grateful to accept. And with that, do you have anything to add? And then we'll administer the oath.
I am grateful for the opportunity to continue to serve.
Let's do it. All right. Now we'll do this. Try and do it better than Judge Roberts did his first time with Barack Obama. Okay. The oath of office. So,
Do I need to raise my hand? I think so.
Yes.
I, Michael Lushak,
I, Michael Buzak,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And with that, you are sworn in, sir. Thank you. I didn't miss it, by the way. Okay. One other thing I wanted to comment on is that Kathleen Creason, who used to attend our meetings as a member, as the director of OPSC, has moved on and been elevated to the CEO of the American Osteopathic Association, and I wanted to have it in the minutes for congratulations to her. I think that's a fantastic choice. And she did serve as interim CEO and now has been made the CEO, so congratulations to her. Okay. Move on to, okay, we're still waiting for Ms. Pines to show up, so we'll have a quorum during the petition. So we'll move on to agenda item number 8, which is the Executive Director's Report. Agenda item number 8, Executive Director's Report, and this is presented by Ms. Erica Calderon.
Thank you, Dr. Bahari, members of the board. Good morning to everyone. I'd like to start off by saying welcome to Dr. Michael Luzak. We are very excited to have you join our board, and we are looking forward to your leadership. To Western University, thank you so much for hosting us. It's been a true pleasure meeting faculty and getting an opportunity to tour the campus and meet students and staff. Home to Dr. Bahari and our newest board member, Dr. Luzak. Now for my executive report, I'd like to start off with office operations and office personnel. The board continues to manage ongoing telework schedules for office staff. Board staff is currently on a 3-day in-office and 2-day at-home schedule. This continues to be effective and productive to office operations, and there is no immediate concern for any change at this time. In terms of office personnel, the only update that the board has is the retirement of Ms. Sabrina Royale. Ms. Royale started the board on July 9th, 2013 as a program technician 2 in the board's licensing unit. On March 2nd, 2023, Ms. Royale promoted to staff services analyst. And as of July 31st, Ms. Royale retired from state service. Board staff celebrated her retirement on July 27th with a nice little lunch out of the office, and everyone was able to wish her farewell and a happy retirement. Her position has since posted and closed, and the plan is for Machiko to conduct interviews next week when we return back to the office. The next update that the board has is the recruitment of 3 new diversion evaluation committee board members for our diversion program. I am happy to announce the recruitment of Dr. Alan Abrams. Dr. Abrams graduated from the University of California of San Diego and has been in practice for more than 20 years. Dr. Abrams served for many years as a DEC member for the Board of Registered Nursing and joined our board's committee last month. Dr. Abrams specializes in addiction and forensic psychiatry. Our second recruitment is Dr. Wadsworth Murat, also an alumni to Western University, graduating class of 1984, who specializes in emergency medicine, family medicine, and psychiatry. The last recruitment is Dr. Matthew Goldenberg. Dr. Goldenberg graduated from the University of California, Los Angeles, and specializes in addiction psychiatry, and is a certified medical review officer. The next update that I have for you is an update of our annual report. The board completed and submitted the board's narrative and statistics involving our fiscal year 2022-2023 annual report to the Department of Consumer Affairs. The annual report is the board's opportunity to demonstrate all of our board's accomplishments for the year and provide program-specific information such as licensing requirements, CME requirements, and statistics for both our application services and enforcement programs. The report will undergo DCA's review and approval process before its publication. The next item that I have is our strategic plan. As all of you are aware, the board has started its 2023 strategic planning session. The Department of Consumer Affairs Solid Team has met with board leadership, staff, and all of you and conducted interviews, as well as completed surveys of all of our stakeholders. Later today, we will be deciding on a day for us to meet sometime in September to conduct our next session. In terms of our technology, the board continues to be very active in working with our police team to make board program improvements for both licensing and enforcement. And later today, you will hear progress on individualized projects for each of our units. Our social media accounts, the board continues to utilize these social media accounts to post informational material pretty much on a daily basis for both our consumers and our licensees, and we continue to receive great feedback. Board website. The board has kicked off phase 2 of this project. I'm happy to announce that we have selected our new template, our new color scheme, and a great deal of very diverse images for our homepage. In addition, we have mapped out each tab and its content, and we have been successfully given a draft for review. I won't share anything else at this time because we have made some current updates to our current website, which Machiko will be sharing, and I want to steal her thunder on that. In terms of records retention schedule, the board's records retention schedule was revised to include more detail and provide more transparency to office policies in terms of our records, so that we are in line with our mandates of public disclosure and our retention. Outreach. The board attended American College of Osteopathic Family Physicians of California annual convention from August 2nd to the 6th in Anaheim, California. Licensees were able to learn from industry's leading experts, earn CMEs, network with their peers, and of course ask the board questions. Machiko and myself presented an update on the board on Thursday night and had a booth available all weekend with informational material. The board plans to attend the Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons of California, CME by the Bay, from October 5th through the 8th in Monterey, California, later this year. For my last update, the board is happy to announce that it started its discussions with DCA's communication office to develop its very own board newsletter, which we hope to publish at least twice a year, So that, so far, we have picked out the name, and we will share that in due time. We have selected a template that will allow us to post it both digitally on the website for download, as well as make hard copies and printouts to share. At this time, this does conclude my executive report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Erica. Any discussion by members of the board? No? We will now entertain comments from the public. Moderator, is there anyone wishing or requesting to public comment?
This is the moderator. At the direction of the board, I opened up the Q&A feature for public comment. Members of the public, if you would like to make a comment on this item, please click the Q&A icon located at the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen, or use the raise hand function. I'll pause a moment to allow the public time to access these features and submit their requests. All right, and seeing no requests, would you like me to close that Q&A panel?
Yes, please. Any public comment from members of the public who are here today? Seeing none, we will go ahead and move on. We're going to go backwards now to agenda item number 6, which is the petition for early termination of Dr. Carnegie. The record should show now that Ms. Pines is in attendance. Yep, so go ahead.
Good morning, President Bahari. This is Michael Kenosha, legal counsel. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry. Yes.
Yes, I understand that Dr. Patel needs to recuse himself.
Yes.
And that he's leaving the room. I just wanted to make a record of that.
Yes, Dr. Patel is recused and is physically out of the room.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Sanchez, are you ready to go on the record? Thank you. We are on the record in the matter of the petition for early termination of probation filed by Sherry Carnegie, D.O. The Office of Administrative Hearings case number is 2023-060-749. Today is August 17th, 2023. My name is Carmen Snuggs Spraggins. I am an administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings assigned to sit with the Osteopathic Medical Board of California, which is convened at the Western University of Health Sciences in Pomona, California today to consider this petition. Will the members of the board identify themselves for the record, starting with Dr. Buhari, please?
Cyrus Buhari, here, board president.
Laura Damon, board member.
Michael Luzak, board member.
Andrew Moreno, board member.
Denise Pines, board member.
Thank you. And let the record reflect that board member Hamesh Patel, D.O., has recused himself, but we do have a quorum. All right, may I have the appearances of counsel and the parties for the record, beginning with the Attorney General, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, members of the board.
I don't think the mic is on. I think there's a button to press and it'll light up.
Flip the switch up.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you. Good morning, members of the board. I am Deputy Attorney General Wendy Wittes.
Good morning, Ms. Whitless. And for the petitioner, please.
Good morning, Your Honor, members of the board. I'm Edward Idell, Bonnie Bridges, Theodore O'Keefe, and Nichols, for the petitioner, Dr. Sherry Carnegie. I want to apologize. I was using my computer during these ongoing proceedings. I just received the link for two witnesses. I'm trying to make sure they have it because they'll be character witnesses who will be testifying.
Good morning to you both. Just for the board members, how the hearing will proceed is I will turn the floor over to Ms. Whitlis to make a presentation, and then the petitioner will put on the hearing for her petition. Mr. Idell will question Ms. Carnegie, Dr. Carnegie. Ms. Whitlis will ask questions, and if the board members have any questions, you can ask them at that time. And then we'll repeat that cycle if need be. If any objection is made, I will be making a ruling on the objection, and I will instruct whatever witness is testifying whether they can answer. All board members need to stay present throughout the entire proceeding in order to deliberate on the matter in closed session. So with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Ms. Whitlis for her presentation.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'd like your permission, if I may, to just get a little housekeeping out of the way first.
Sure.
If I may. Mr. Idell and I have spoken repeatedly, and we have agreed to stipulate the admission of the exhibits from both sides with the court's permission, of course. It's my understanding that the board members have been provided with both the Attorney General's exhibits as well as the petitioners. Am I correct about that, gentlemen?
Yes.
I don't know where everybody else is. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, Brian?
That's fine. And so
Then,
just
Mr. Idell, would you agree that we have stipulated to the admission of both sides various pieces of evidence?
Yes, we have
so stipulated.
And just for the record, so what will be in evidence is the Attorney General's exhibits 1 through 5 and the petitioner's exhibits A through K.
That's correct, Your Honor, if the court would accept that stipulation.
Yes, the stipulation is accepted. Thank you.
Chair is fighting back. Good morning. I want to start by saying something historical. I happen to be the Deputy Attorney General who is responsible for filing the accusation for the Osteopathic Medical Board in another matter having to do with overprescribing. And following that case, and ultimately that was the first physician, certainly in California and I believe in the United States, who was convicted of second-degree murder for overprescribing. And I say that to you because over the 16 years that I've been a Deputy Attorney General, and it's been my tremendous pleasure to represent this board in particular, I've watched the changes in the standard of care. And I've seen many physicians, and I've filed many accusations having to do with inappropriate prescribing. And as it turns out, of course, because that's why I was assigned this, I was the Deputy Attorney General who filed the underlying accusation in this matter. And I was very careful to review all of the materials. And for me, I must say, because I'm here representing the public, that it was a real pleasure for me to see at the end of 16 years how things have changed and what the purpose is for board discipline. I don't know about my other colleagues, but I would start my accusations by what I consider the most important business and professions code section, which is the one that talks about the board's primary function is protection of the public. I believe in that very strongly. I came from a long career as a criminal prosecutor, and purpose of that was not rehabilitation. So it took me a while to understand the difference between how I was to represent my clients, between punishment versus rehabilitation. And I'm very pleased to say that in this particular matter, although it was a little frustrating, when I went to prepare this petition, because I've done these before, there was literally nothing that I could find that was troubling to me. This was a woman who entered into a stipulation, and just to sort of catch you all up, she's done every single thing that she was supposed to during her probation. But what was impressive to me was that the very first thing she did, literally within months, I think 2 months of signing the stipulated decision, was that she took the 2 courses, the case course and the other course having to do with prescribing. It is seldom, both in my career as a criminal prosecutor and as a Deputy Attorney General for the Quality Enforcement Section of the California Attorney General's Office, that I have seen a human being accept total responsibility for their errors. And I thought about that when I came in this morning because, as I told you all off the record, my very well-notated binder, I left it on my desk. So everybody makes mistakes, and I wasn't embarrassed about that, but it was my mistake, and that's what happened. In a much more serious way, when you read through not only Dr. Carnegie's statements, but the letters from the people who have been asked to provide the board with information about whether or not she's a risk, the comments are very telling. And I don't want to ruin the movie for everybody, but suffice to say, it's very impressive, and I've seen it already. One of the things that always disturbs me, because I'm old-fashioned, when I do a petition for early termination, is that my belief is when you make an agreement, you stick by it. And when I looked at this, I thought, gee, she's done an outstanding job, but why is she asking for us to terminate her probation with a substantial amount of time left to run on the probation? And I thought a lot about it, and ultimately I did what I always do when I get to the bottom of the setting. I went to the dictionary, and I looked up rehabilitation. And my note at home, the complete definition. But basically what it says is that you restore someone to their former state of being. And I'm sure Mr. Ardell will much more eloquently discuss this. But if ever there was a case in which a physician should be restored based on rehabilitation, this is the case that I would point to. I will be happy at the conclusion of this matter to take any questions both from the board members who are here, as well as the ones who are suffering either that I can't see. But in this particular function, I don't represent the board, I represent the public. And anybody who knows me sort of grimaces on the defense side because I'm pretty hard-nosed. But I have to say that in this particular case, despite my best efforts, I can think of no reason why the board would not grant this petition for early termination. And unless anybody has any questions, I'm going to hand the
represent Dr. Carnegie in this petition matter. She's a family practitioner who's been in practice since around 1997. She's petitioning for early termination of probation, which was effective August 10th, 2020. If it's granted, it will cut off a year from her probation. She has about a year remaining. The accusation, which was filed in 2019, involved 5 patients related to prescribing practices and not disclosing risks of medication, not having pain medication contracts, not looking for the etiology of the pain, not seeking alternative methods of dealing with the pain, but just prescribing and not taking steps to continue discontinue medication. The accusation is Exhibit G, which includes the stipulated settlement. Rather than go to a hearing, Dr. Carnegie agreed to enter into a stipulation with 4 years of probation and various conditions, which included taking a pharmacology course, which she did take a PDI, opioid prescribing course, which is an exhibit. I don't know if you all have the exhibit list. It should be at the beginning of the binders. And the PACE clinical training program, which is a respected program at the University of San Diego, and she successfully completed that. She paid her cost recovery about a little in excess of $23,000. She's complied, she's been fully compliant with all of the terms of probation. But most importantly, she didn't dispute the allegations in the accusation. It was a wake-up call for her. There was a time, and the pendulum swung, when Dr. Carnegie started practicing early on. Prescribing pain medication was common. It was the pain patient's Bill of Rights, and the pendulum swung. And she didn't swing with the pendulum. But now she has. She appreciates what has happened as a result of prescribing and continuing to prescribe without addressing the issues that were raised in the accusation. And she has made, you'll hear her testify, she's made substantial changes to her practice so that nothing like is alleged in the accusation will ever happen again. The main thing is she understands and appreciates how to prescribe now and what is expected of a practitioner as far as prescribing pain medication and other medications together with pain medication. So why is she seeking early termination of probation? Probation, it is a hardship in many ways. Well, it is a learning experience, and she has learned a lot from it. She believes she's achieved that degree of rehabilitation that would allow the board to cease probation and be assured that she can practice safely. It also has ramifications on the practice. As the members may know, when you are on probation, most of the health networks will terminate you. Some will terminate you, not give you any opportunity to contest it. Some will let you have a hearing. She lost most of her relationships with insurers and losing her relationships with long-time patients, some of which she has served in patients for over 20 years. And so it posed a financial hardship for her. It posed a change. She had to let some people go because she didn't have the income and didn't have the patient population to serve that she did before. She also lost the ability to be a preceptor. She's very dedicated dedicated, involved in education as a volunteer, and that got cut off. And this is something she feels very strongly about and wants to be able to fully return to that. And relieving her of probation would allow her to petition back to rejoin networks, to gain patients back that she had served for many years, and to be able to return to teaching and giving back to the community, which is something that she feels very strongly about. So I do ask if the board would carefully consider her testimony and the exhibits that we have provided. Exhibit K outlines as a board memorandum, and it's also in Ms. Willis's exhibits that confirms that Dr. Carnegie is fully compliant with probation. And we understand compliance with probation is expected. That's part of the deal you made. You're supposed to be compliant. That alone is not a ground for early termination. But I think when you hear Dr. Carnegie testify, you will appreciate that she's made changes, that she has achieved rehabilitation, that she's achieved a greater understanding of what this is about, what the board expects, and what she needs to do, and she's doing that, and that she is safe to practice without further oversight by the board. So I thank you for listening. If I may point out, I have two character witnesses, one of whom has a family medical emergency and has asked if we would take his testimony first, if that would be allowed.
That's fine, I don't have any problem with that. Can you all hear me? Just want to make sure the microphone is on.
I'm sorry?
I just want to make sure the microphone is on, you can all hear me.
Yes.
And so the character witness is going to be testifying virtually, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let's accommodate that. And so who is your first witness, Mr.
So the first witness would be Dr. Mark Dubin, and he has a letter that's Exhibit D that he wrote. I just need to make sure that he's been able to log in. I only received the link this morning, so I'm trying to communicate it to them and make sure it works.
Sure, why don't you confirm with the witness, we'll go off the record.
Okay, thank you.
This is the moderator for WebEx. I don't have Dr. Dubin on the line, unless he is logged in with a different name, in which case, if he used the raise hand feature so I could identify.
Let's see if I can.
Ms. Whitless, did you have a question or something you want to add?
I just wanted to let the board members have this. I will send this to you.
Would you be able to log in? Okay, great. Let me know, text me if there's any problem. Okay, thank you. No, he's logging in right now. Yeah.
So if the moderator can let us know when Dr. Dubin joins, please.
Sure. I'll keep an eye out for him.
Could you log in maybe 10 minutes and we'll just be in the waiting room for a few minutes? Okay, let me know if you have any problem. Okay, thanks. That was the second witness. Oh, okay.
You don't care if they waiting or virtual waiting room, do you?
No, that's fine, as long as they're not in the session.
Hello? Let me. Okay, I'll try to do that right now. Okay. The whole link may not be highlighted, you have to highlight the whole link. Okay. Bear with me one moment. Sorry, I only received the link this morning, so. He should be able to log in.
I don't know what the capabilities are.
He should be able to log in.
This is all great history we need to know.
We could, if we can't log in,
Let me forward
we
that.
could hold the microphone to the phone.
No, he needed it forwarded from my phone.
Ms. Sanchez, have we done a case together since 2020? I just want to see if you need the spelling, because I got married during the pandemic. I just wanted to know if you need the spelling of my married last name, because it's hyphenated now. While we're off the record.
No, I have a
Okay, perfect.
We were just talking, we did monster cases a few months ago on Zoom.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was the only time I enjoyed being on Zoom because no one could see me trying to cut my wrists. It's so nice to be in person again, you know? Still not.
Has he logged in? Yeah. I'm sorry? They gave me the link outside, they texted it to me, so I forwarded it to him by text.
I'm sorry. I tried to do this yesterday, but I wasn't able to obtain it.
No problem.
Can we call him?
But
I'll
if your witness doesn't join the next couple of minutes, let's,
This is from the battlefield, this experience. We can make all this work, right?
We didn't have that much technology initially,
Is that working?
but
Okay.
I'm familiar with Zoom for the past several years and happy to be back in person.
Do you know they're changing it?
It's not, I think it's
They're
WebEx.
collecting information to use.
Mr. Idell, since you have the witness on the phone,
Okay.
maybe we can.
If worse comes to worse, I mean, maybe we can have him by audio, if that would
Maybe you can
be
just
allowed.
put him on
Okay,
speaker
let's try it.
and we
Okay,
can
thank
hold
you.
the microphone up to it or something? I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
Yeah,
Well, he can actually call in, there's call-in information.
Okay, have him call in
So he
then.
could be on the system.
Sure.
His phone number? His phone number is
There's
414.
not time
Can I
testing.
ask you?
Excuse me?
There's not a time.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
No.
In terms of like giving people a certain amount of
Yeah,
time
like
for.
you got 15 minutes, you got 15 minutes, you got.
No, they only do that in the court of appeal. They'll chime arguments, but in trials,
In
Go
general,
like
this.
yes. So it's desert,
unless the
but
testimony is cumulative.
part of
you have to
it
be careful
is
what
that
you
Fertile
should-
Crescent.
But
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. I flew over the Fertile Crescent. Part of my duties I was a flight surgeon, so we'd fly over the Tigris, and to the west of the Tigris, it was just the desert. But then there was the river, and the Saddam regime had dammed many of the rivers, and so there was there were pretty green areas.
Not this board.
You can call
Only this
No.
board in terms of in person for boards like this. But I do
Spent most of my year on a compound, which was the airfield
board
in
of
Mosul.
the chiropractor examiners and.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just you come in with your petition for your petition and you put on your evidence.
Making a recommendation.
Hello?
I used to be that.
Sure, I'm not sure the other is the same. For neither side, just to be.
Right.
I don't understand.
So, Mr. Idell, is your witness calling in then?
He's calling in. That should not have any technical issues.
I, I gave some thought to volunteering with Doctors Without Borders, and then I started reading what they actually did. And I thought,
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great.
All right, Dr. Dubin, can you hear me? This is the judge.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Okay, great, thank you. Ms. Sanchez, let's go back on the record. We are back on the record after taking a brief break. Mr. Idell, if you can call your witness, please, formally.
Okay, I'm calling Dr. Mark Dubin.
All right, Mr. Dubin is present by telephone, and if you can raise your right hand, sir, and let me know when you've done so.
I am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give in this proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state and spell your name for the record, please.
Mark, M-A-R-K, initial D-B-I-N, Dubin.
All right, thank you. And you're saying D-U-B as in boy, I-N?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Sir, we have a court reporter taking down everything that's being said, and so it's important that you speak slowly and also wait until the person who has finished asking you a question has stopped. So I'm just going to ask you to pause before you answer any question, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Also, I need you to make sure you understand that the oath that you just took has the same force and effect if we were all together live in the courtroom.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Idell is going to ask you some questions. He represents Dr. Carnegie. When he's done, Ms. Woodless, who represents the Attorney General of the state, may have some questions for you, and the board members may have some questions for you as well, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mr. Idell?
Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Dubin. Can you please tell us, you know Sheriff Dr. Carnegie?
Yes, I do.
And for how long have you known Dr. Carnegie?
Over 15 years, at least.
And in what capacity have you known Dr. Carnegie? How did you come to know her?
So we are medical colleagues at the hospital that we both practice at, PA Health Hospital Downey. Before that, it was Downey Regional Medical Center. We practiced together for 15 to 20 years. And we have been professional colleagues in patient care, as well as medical staff colleagues in leadership roles at the hospital.
Would you please tell the board a little bit about yourself, what your background is, and what your affiliation is with the hospital?
Sure. I've been at the hospital for just about 30 years now. I'm a practicing radiologist. I've been doing general radiology at the hospital since 1993 or 4.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I've been a practicing radiologist almost exclusively at this hospital for approximately 30 years. In the more recent years, the last 8 to 10 years, I've been involved in medical staff leadership. I'm currently the chief of staff or president of medical staff in the middle of my term currently. Prior to that, I was co-chair of the Department of Medicine. And those are my medical staff leadership roles currently. I also am the medical director of the Breast Health Center at Downey, which we created. We did breast imaging for 30 years, but we created a breast health center in the last 7 years. I'm co-director of that.
So what kind of interaction do you have with Dr. Carnegie?
Dr. Carnegie and I have shared many patients. So as radiologists, we'll refer patients from a clinician, either outpatients from their offices or from inpatient medical care, both of which I've been involved with for Dr. Carnegie's patients over the years. So our interaction would be basically we are like a consultation service, and take care of patients for, medical testing and other things, that the doctor will request.
So, do you get feedback from patients that Dr. Carnegie has treated?
We do. Much of what I do is, reading imaging studies, but also I interact with patients quite a bit. Certainly in the past we did, and then currently over the last decade or so, we speak with patients all the time, especially our breast imaging patients. We speak to them many times before we leave the department, and so when I speak with patients, I get feedback on their physicians, and certainly I've gotten, exclusively positive feedback for Dr. Carnegie from her patients when I speak with them at the time they're in my department for studies.
What's Dr. Carnegie's reputation in the hospital?
Her reputation is excellent. She's known as a very conscientious and complete thorough physician in working up her patients and taking care of them. Patients that come into the hospital. Nowadays, medicine's practiced a little bit differently, where many internists and family practice doctors will see their patients in their offices, not necessarily following them to the hospital because they're hospitalists that do that work in the hospital. Although Dr. Carnegie still does follow many of her patients into the hospital to take care of them as inpatients. And then, of course, outpatients that come to us that she sees from her office, we see them as well.
And does Dr. Carnegie do any volunteering relating to the hospital?
She does, and it's really indispensable, actually. So she has been chair of the family practice department, or we call it the family practice policy committee, but it's department, which is a very important department at our hospital because we have a large family practice program for residents and also for family practice doctors. So there's been a history of that at our hospital. So she chairs that department and that committee, which is extremely helpful. As part of the duties on that committee, she also sits on the credentials committee, which allows us to vet out future members of the medical staff and make sure that their credentials are in order, quality is in order, and all that. So she sits on that committee, which is a small committee. It's 5 of us, 5 to 6 of us. So very important work. And then, of course, sits on in those roles also sits on the medical executive committee, which is a extremely indispensable decision-making body for medical staff at our hospital, as in the hospital.
Now, when you have an understanding that at some point, some years ago, the board filed an accusation against Dr. Carnegie's license, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And did Dr. Carnegie bring that to your attention around the time it was filed?
She did. We spoke about what was, what transpired.
And did she discuss with you the particulars of the accusation?
Not in great detail, but just the basics of what was, discussed.
Okay. Has she discussed with you over the course of years changes